David Infante of Adelante Improvement, and Eddie Demas of Leadership Revolution. So you guys come on up. There you go.
Thank you, Sonia. So Sonia just introduced us. So we are ex-General Mills employees who have gone into consulting. And so we help companies grow. We help companies overcome the barriers that they run into. We have two separate companies, but we work together for so many years. Throughout the years, we have very complementary skill sets. And so we work together and we help companies get better. How did we end up doing this? And I think it comes back to a story. When I first started working for General Mills 24 years ago, I was running a packaging line, and we were running a limited time product. And I think if you advance it, it was a product called Quarterback Crunch, and so it was a Wheaties product. It was one line making this product for the entire country. We had some temporaries that were working in the area, and I had this one temporary on the line who was a little dark storm cloud, is the only way I could really describe her. She was prickly. She had a little cloud over her head, and she was not a happy camper. I knew that probably for 2 months that she was going to be in and around my line, and so I engaged her in some conversation. And I started talking to her, and she asked me about the product, and I said, well, this is only for a short time. It's called an in and out. They're going to just do it, and then they're not ever going to do it again. This is the only line making it in the country. And if you ever see it on the shelf in a store, you can be sure that it came from this line. So she kind of perked up, and so the next day I came into work, and the line was clean, and she was working hard, and she was, just mopping and taking care of everything that needed to be taken care of. I thought that was interesting, and I went to lunch and came back. And she had taken one of the cardboard flats and with a Sharpie written on it and put it on the line, and it said, Esmeralda's line, do not touch. And so for me, I saw a change in her from day one to day two. I saw that she had a purpose, that she had that she was part of something bigger. She was making $9 an hour, but she was working her butt off. And I think that it's a lesson for all of us as business leaders to know that we have a responsibility for creating an environment where people want to belong to something. They want to be part of something. They want to contribute. They want, they're trading their life for money, and they want to make sure that what they're doing makes a difference. So I saw that early in my career, and saw that reinforced as I continued to go through multiple different experiences. Both Eddie and I have a lot of locations that we've worked at for General Mills. We've worked at companies at different levels of development with different problems, and we've helped them work to solve those problems. And it's giving us a lot of practical hands-on experience with the types of things that businesses run into that end up being barriers for them. So what we do is basically we help companies overcome those barriers that they can't overcome on their own. So how do we do that? Eddie's going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, like David said, we've got a lot of experience. We've done a lot of different things. What he didn't go into detail on is kind of our backgrounds. Both very mechanical. I was an aircraft mechanic for 12 years before General Mills. We were both technicians. We've done supervisory roles, training roles, human resources roles, engineering type roles, and continuous improvement roles. So at the end of the day, we are continuous improvement kind of guys. We believe that all processes, all systems can be improved and need continuous improvement and need systems to help them improve. And so what we do is management consultant, but really what we do is we partner with, we partner with our clients to come up with what we call integrated sustainable solutions. David likes to talk about that an organization is just like the human body. When you put something new into that organization, the body will tend to fight it off. It's just like a virus. And if you don't integrate it, if you don't work it into the system, put the right processes in place around it, whether that's cultural, leadership, or actual business processes, the organization will actually falter. And David and I have been on the receiving end of tons of consulting in our 35 years of work experience, 24 of that with General Mills. We had lots of consultants work with us. And we had lots of great ideas come in, lots of great processes come in. But what we saw a lot of times was 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 12 months later, the organization was back to doing what it had always done. the systems didn't stick. And part of that was because consultants would come in, they'd give us their cookie cutter approach, we'd get all excited about it, they'd leave, we wouldn't have the supporting mechanisms to kind of keep it going, and it would falter. And so one of the things that David and I like to do is go into organizations and work closely with them to integrate our solutions into their work system. So instead of coming in with cookie cutter approaches, we like to come in and work with them to identify, hey, what are your biggest losses? What's your current state? Where are you trying to go? How do we make that? Put our processes in place to work through that. We really do believe that, three things are crucial: leadership, culture, and then business processes. We got to make them all work together. And so we tend to focus our work in those three areas. So we do a lot of leadership development. We focus a lot on servant leadership. We do a lot of cultural work, employee engagement. One of the crucial things that I think David and I both believe in is that, no workplace should suck for the employees, no workplace should suck for the owner, and it shouldn't suck for the customer who's getting the product or the service. So culture is a huge part of that. And then business processes, just making sure the processes are effective and efficient and that they get the result that you're trying to get and that they enhance that culture. Those are the crucial pieces that we tend to work on. So, we could get into a lot of sausage making about how we do our consulting, but really that's the focus for us, is really that idea of leadership, culture, and business processes and integrating those into kind of the organization and helping them. We've done a lot of work outside of the state of New Mexico most recently, but we're looking to kind of expand our influence here in the state where we live, because we believe that there's a lot of opportunity there.
So why do we do what we do? I think that it may sound trite, but it's to make lives better. As an owner, you want to be successful and prosperous, and you want to provide prosperity for your employees. As an employee, we've all been the Esmeraldas, and we've all been the great employees and kind of everything in between. And your worst employee can be your best employee if you create the right environment for them. So I think that that's the second way that you can make life better. And the third way would be as a customer. How many of us have had a bad experience, a bad customer service experience, or a product that didn't work as it was supposed to work? And all of that is the byproduct of not enough leadership or not enough training or not enough something that should have been created for that to be right. So I think that life can be a lot better, and companies that don't improve, any company can be improved. Any company can be improved, and when they're not improving, they're leaving money on the table, and they're leaving prosperity on the table for their employees and for their future. So that's why we do what we do, and I think at this point we'll open it up to questions. What? Hold on.
Okay. Real quick, we wanted to institute something here for the Q&A, which is, if you have a question, if you could tell us who you are and what company or organization you represent, and then ask the questions. So then we kind of get to know who's in the audience and who's asking the questions. And then the guys up here are going to repeat your question so that it gets recorded on Facebook Live and our video feed. So, yeah, there you go.